Good afternoon and welcome to BBC London. I'm Frankie McCamley. Parts of the capital have been hit by snow and sleet today. The cold weather has affected the trains, tube network and roads. It's not over yet. We're expecting more freezing temperatures tonight. Many of you have been getting in touch with pictures where you live. Keep an eye out for yours in Jim Weeble's report.
It was puppy love for the snow in South Bermondsey this morning. This little pooch had never seen it before, excited by the strange new white world. Not quite the same novelty for most Londoners though. In Brixton, those making their way to work were facing up to a blizzard. Some happy to be in the warm of the office.
Well, I'm lucky we're still both working full time, so it is a little bit easier because we're at work all day. But some weeks it can be a struggle with weather like this.
Just saving energy, you know. I don't use central heating on. That's it. Just on the electric fire only when I need it.
From Biggin Hill to Barnet, London and the surrounding counties woke up to a blanket of snow. Some of the heaviest falls were in Surrey, this post box near Guildford with about 5 inches, showing how heavy the snow had fallen there. Heavy falls in Windsor too. In many areas, the snow though was only fleeting. But it may not be over just yet, with a possibility of more falling later today. Jim Weeble, BBC London.
Hundreds of East London flats have been left without tap water after a tank became contaminated. Residents living in a new Hackney Wick complex have been without safe drinking water for nearly a week. The developer says people have been given bottled supplies as it works to fix the problem. Carl Mercer reports.
Modern looking flats, but not delivering a very modern service.
Okay, let's get some water.
Let's get 2. This is now the daily routine for Rebecca and Ian. The water in their flat and hundreds more in 4 new blocks deemed unsafe.
It says, do not drink your tap water, and it tells you all the things you can't do. Not even after boiling the water, not to brush your teeth, with anything. You can only use it to flush the toilet and to have a bath.
The problem started a week ago.
Just really strong smell in here. As soon as you open the door, it kind of came through the whole flat.
I was quite worried because I have asthma. I did think, is this something more dangerous, like could build up over time? I was probably more worried than him about it, what it could mean, and that sometimes you could have something and it might not. There could be like longer term effects that don't show up to start with, and it was only after we started to get the notices through that I noticed I'd been feeling a bit nauseous, and I wondered, is it that? And they've still not told us what the chemical is.
The problem, it seems, is not with supply to the flats, but may be linked to building work and the building's own water tank. For now, Thames Water is delivering bottled water to the 1,800 homes. In a statement, the developer's Taylor Wimpey said,
"We are sorry to hear of the water supply issues and sincerely apologise to residents for the inconvenience caused. We are urgently investigating the cause of the problem."
More than a week on, Rebecca and Ian are waiting for answers too. Carl Mercer, BBC London.
Now, as we've been hearing, there's been a huge rise in dog attacks. In the capital, the Metropolitan Police has seen more than an 80% rise. A Croydon-based dog walker is now calling for change. Olivia Dimitriadis reports.
Good job. A common enough sight in London parks. Bodie, Eric and Pepsi on their daily stroll in the hands of dog walker Hayley. But it's an industry that's been thrown into the spotlight since the fatal attack of Natasha Johnston in Caterham in January.
You just go out to do your job, the job that you love, and to not come home is just unbelievable to think that that could happen.
Rules vary from council to council. With a licence, just up the road in Tandridge, Hayley can walk 6 dogs, but in Croydon, she can only walk 4.
What potential issue you've got is that people will just move from different areas to different areas at the moment because each council has different licences or rules, as opposed to a unified set of guidelines or set number of dogs that have to be can be walked.
Hayley's been a dog walker in Croydon for 15 years. The industry is not regulated, something which she believes needs to change.
If we was to be regulated, there'd be a list of basic rules and regulations that we would then have to abide by, such as insurance, canine body language, first aid courses, an appropriate amount of equipment that you would need on the walk.
There are rules around dog fouling, exclusions from certain areas including play and sports spaces, keeping your dog on a lead in a restricted area, and there are rules around multiple dog walking. For example, here in Richmond, you need a licence to walk more than 4 dogs, though this varies from council to council, and your dogs must be kept under control.
Here!
And if a dog walker is found to be breaking these rules, they could be issued with a penalty. A Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs spokesperson said,
"Whilst dog walkers are not currently subject to any national limits on the number of dogs they can walk at any one time, they must be in full control of their animals and comply with local authority and insurance policy rules."
Olivia Dimitriadis, BBC London.
Anastasios was diagnosed with a brain tumour as a child when he was which left him severely visually impaired. Doctors gave him just 6 months to live. Then, as a teenager, he became homeless, sleeping on the streets. During the daytime, he would do the one thing he loved, and that was play the piano at St Pancras Station. Little did he know his life would completely change one day as he played to passengers. Alex Thorpe went to meet him.
I know that a lot of the music that he's writing does come from his pain and also comes from his love. I can just lie on the church floor and just listen to him play.
18-year-old Anastasios has a brain tumour and has lost most of his vision. He slept rough in London for nearly 2 years before meeting his now girlfriend in St Pancras Station.
It was at the communal piano, and I think everybody's minds were just blown. His hands just move around the piano like a force of nature.
Anastasios, who was originally from Athens in Greece, moved to the UK, but says he became homeless after falling out with his family.
I was sleeping in the benches. Sometimes, mostly in the summer, I was sleeping in the Hyde Park, in the Holland Park. When it's raining, the train from Paddington to Reading or Oxford, back again.
At the age of 2, he was given just 6 months to live. And despite losing most of his sight, he taught himself to play the piano.
I believe that there's something that we can do. I'm not sure what, but you've been praying all this time and you're still here. He said that you had 6 months to live, but you're still here, so clearly your prayers, they mean something.
Incredible. Well, let's find out whether things are going to be warming up soon. Here's Elizabeth Rizzini.
Hello, good afternoon. Plenty of snowfall earlier on this morning as captured by our weather watchers here in Barnet, in Hendon and in Caterham in Surrey. We do still have a Met Office weather warning in force for snow and ice, but it has now been trimmed back to only include northern home counties. Possibly a bit of winteriness here still overnight tonight. Now, for the rest of the afternoon, we've got our system approaching from the southwest. Lots of dry weather around. It's bitterly cold with a brisk easterly wind and highs of only 3 degrees Celsius. Now this evening, most of this is going to be falling as rain. Could be a bit of a wintry mix with some elevation, perhaps a bit of wintriness, a bit of sleet and wet snow towards northern home counties as our system clears into tomorrow morning. But it's a mostly dry start to the day. Do still watch out for some icy stretches. And then tomorrow, it's a dry, a cloudy early start. Everything that falls out of the sky tomorrow should be falling as rain and the air is milder, possibly turning colder again on Friday.
Well, that's all from me. Riz has your evening news. Stay warm and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.